Okay. I think I have everything set up. Can you hear me and all that other good stuff? That is what I truly want to know. If you can hear me clearly and there's no like stuttering or like anything like that. Okay, good. Stretch because I just woke up from a nap. Hopefully, I'll sound more exciting in this because I really am really. Bleh, I can't speak. I am really excited to have this idea. Just gotta figure out how to manage all these screens. Good lord. Because I got like OBS, I got like 2 pages of notes, and my internet pulled up, so it's kind of a mess right now. Uh, I'll be getting into what this is in a few seconds. I'm making sure that I have everything set up okay and that there's nothing going on with my OBS software. So if you could just bear with me for just a couple of minutes. And I see we got 2 people watching, and I know you're one of them, Nicole, but still. And also to note, from my point of view, everything is delayed. So I'm looking at my um, stuff that's showing me like, hey, you're still live and stuff, and showing the chat. So um, it's not like full real time. So like I probably will say something like 5 minutes ago, and you would just now be hearing it. But still, what can you do? It's the hard life we live. Uh, Jeez, how am I gonna manage this? Well, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Make that smaller. And what's interesting about this idea is that um, the reason I think it's a lot better than doing like gameplay is because this way that there is no frame drops. Like it's literally just a screen, like a picture of it on the screen. So it's not gonna be. Yeah, that happened when I streamed too. Okay. Um, so yeah, there should be no frame drops because of the fact is it's shouldn't be any frames at all. It's just literally one screen of a picture. So, or it's just one frame of a picture. So, um, it should be easier. Minimize that. Take out my notes because I'm gonna need those for this. Um, Wait, I actually was able to pop out the stream. No, pop out the chat. Can I do that again? Yes, I can. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah. All right, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Now that I think I got everything set up, I guess I can go over what this is, because you only saw the hint that I dropped on my Twitter. Essentially, what this actually was inspired from watching the Keykeeper stream, because they were because in the beginning they were asking um, each other questions about, Kingdom Hearts stuff, like legit Kingdom Hearts questions, and of course I was one of them, at like answering in the chat. I'm trying to see how I can word it. Like, it's kind of like it's kind of what they did, but at the same time, it's not, because I'm going to be providing actual facts about Kingdom Hearts from either that stuff I've learned or stuff that I recently just learned, or just like not random, but um, general news. So I guess I could show off like the other three pictures that I do have, because this is separated into three um, segments, which is Kingdom Hearts chill talk mode, which is literally where I would like kind of like a pre-stream where like I'm just waiting for people to either notice that I'm streaming or anything like that. That we could just talk any Kingdom Hearts thing related, like, oh hey, here's something that we've recently found about Kingdom Hearts 3 or Kingdom Hearts 2.8 or Unchained Key or even Key, like stuff like that. Um, so, so we have this one, Kingdom Hearts Chill Talk mode. Literally, I just went over it. So, and this is actually the main segment, the knowledge of Kingdom Hearts, which is where I will be talking facts, and each one I will be talking, I would say about maybe 10 facts each stream, hopefully. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't really know. I don't know how long I'm going to keep these streams. If they do succeed, that's my question. That's my question. If they will succeed over time. And then after that, probably after I finish doing the 10 questions, well, not 10 questions, 10 facts, I will move on to this. Chat questions, chat question time, which is where I will ask the chat 10 questions that I either randomly picked off the top of my head or that I did intensive research. That is an awesome picture. But that's mainly the gist of it. It's really not elaborate, and it's not meant to be elaborate. Like, what this essentially is that I want people to find this and to learn a little bit more about Kingdom Hearts, because I've seen way, way too many misconceptions and people just like giving the stupid answers. Like, of course, people are bound to mess up something. That's just what we do as human beings. We mess up stuff. But still, some of these are like typical easy questions that I've heard thousands of times, and people still don't get it. For example, like Kingdom Hearts 3 being the last Kingdom Hearts game, which is completely and utterly false. And Tetsuya Nomura, the man behind Kingdom Hearts, had said numerous times that that's not the case. Like, stuff like that. I'll actually move back to the first picture. Let me actually bring back up my internet real quick. Not my internet, my thing here. Yeah, I really really hate that. I really hate that response that people say, "Oh, Kingdom Hearts is just a kid's game." Like that, I honestly, to God, it is probably one of the most things I hate when people tell me that. Luckily, I've never ran into anybody personally, like, in my life that has ever told me that. Like, there's probably like one of my friends that like said like, yeah, it's kind of kiddie, and it's like I brushed it aside because really like it just didn't bother me at the time, but it really irks me because really, if you really think about it, Kingdom Hearts is essentially part Final Fantasy. Like that's the case. Like it's partial Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy is no walk in the park. Like there's death in, like, for example, like in one of the um not in one of the um I should rephrase that. Um in Final Fantasy Type 0, that game, when you start, people die. I'm not kidding you. Immediately, once you start the game, the opening scene is where characters die because they're in a war. So, yeah, I don't see it as a kid's game. Especially how is a kid supposed to be able to figure out an action RPG with all these fancy controls? Like, yeah, as a kid you would be able to know how to attack and move around, but that's pretty much it. You're not going to know extensively how to play the game as it's meant to be played. Yeah, just because Disney is involved doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that is very true. Like, Disney is marketed towards family. That's essentially what they do. It's not that they don't have the capacity to be dark. It's just that they chose the route to do family instead of doing like what DC does, where they have to make everything dark and everything like no comedy or no nothing. Like it's basically a choice. It's not the fact that they can't be dark. It's just the fact that they market their stuff towards kids and family, which I'm totally fine with. I'm totally fine with Disney doing that. And especially, this is the thing that I want to say to those people. How can you tell Disney is not dark after reading or watching, or not watching, but learning about the original, I was about to say illustrations, but no, that's not the right word. I would say seeing the original writings of those sources that they take to be put as a movie form for them. I'm trying to think of like a really, really good one, but like most of them are from the Brother Grimm's tales, and those are pretty dark. Oh, jeez, I'm trying to think of like a really, really good one, and now I want to talk about something else. Um, jeez, I've talked about this so many times, but I can't think of one good one. Yeah, it's not like Disney. It's not like Disney. Ever dark is ever dark because it can be. Yeah, pretty much. God, like I'm really stumped. Like I'm like God, I can't speak because I can't really think of a good example. Like the only way I could describe it is like most of them are from Brother Grimm's tales, and those aren't really a good thing. The story of the Little Mermaid is dark. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. Oh, now I remember. The original writing for Pocahontas, that was no pushover. When I learned about the original writing for Pocahontas, I never looked at that movie ever again, like the same way, because it was so drastically different. Like it was so different from what Disney took it. Like so different. But yeah, ultimately, like I said, and sorry, I was checking something real quick. Um, but yeah, ultimately, Disney, it's a choice for Disney. It's a choice. Like it's like right now, the way that they're handling the Star Wars films, um, originally I was against it. Like I thought that Disney was gonna mess it up because I didn't really think that Disney could do Star Wars justice. And Star Wars 7 came out, and I ate my words because that movie was incredible. I watched that film twice, and it was glorious. And I'm especially excited for the new Star Wars side film, Rogue One. I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out. Yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot of companies take like a darker source and turn it into family friendly. Like I'm sure that there's a couple people, a couple directors, and a couple people out there that have done it. Um, but I think Disney does it in a way where it's like where it's just the right amount of good things. Unlike where a director would completely take this, really, will take the original and completely flip it on its head. I was so sad when Solo died. Yeah, I was sad. I was sad at that. I'm surprised I didn't shed a tear. I was very surprised I didn't shed a tear when Han Solo died. But I understand why he died because Harrison Ford didn't want to come back for Episode 8 and 9. So I can understand why J.J. Abrams killed him off. I can understand it. Jeez, now that I'm thinking about it, like I guess I could talk about the topic about um, Star Wars being in Kingdom Hearts, or in Kingdom Hearts 3, or Kingdom Hearts in general. Essentially, for me, I have no problem with it, as long as it's not the movies. Like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of people who say, well, they could implement the Death Star, um, with Sora being in the Death Star helping Luke and all that other stuff. I can see that part, but I feel like if they did the movies, I feel like that they would just do it wrong. Because it just wouldn't feel right. I feel like if they should ever do Star Wars, they should do what they did with Big Hero 6 and have it be with Rebels. Because Disney had a tie in with that series, so they practically made it. So it'd pretty much be like the Big Hero 6 effect, where they literally took a franchise and turned it into one of their properties that they created, which is Star Wars Rebels. I can still see them doing like Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but that'd have to be like very very early episodes, like probably like the very first couple episodes. Let me shut my door. As right now, I can't see how it would fit, but if they did, I'm sure it would be good. Yeah, so far Square has not done bad with the way they implemented their stories. Like, the only complaint that I've had with Kingdom Hearts in general is when you're playing as a different kind of Sora, where basically you have a transformation, and that's basically alluding to basically Pride Lands and Atlantica. Atlantica, I was fine with in Kingdom Hearts 1. It really didn't give me much of a problem, except for the part where you can't block. That part I didn't get. Like, I don't understand how that didn't work. And the same thing goes with Lion Sora. Like, I think guarding is probably one of the most best things you need in Kingdom Hearts, especially in Kingdom Hearts 2. Actually, no, I take that back. In Kingdom Hearts 1, you're going to need a whole lot more because of the way that game was made. Like, if Square... Like, that's the only thing. And I'm excited for Big Hero 6 because I love the movie. Yeah, Big Hero 6, I really enjoyed. I never even heard of Big Hero 6 until they made the movie. I didn't know it was a Marvel comic. Like, I legit thought that it was just another Disney movie, like they just made up a new one. I didn't know it was a Marvel comic. And again, it's drastically different from the comic, because I hear that Baymax was different, that Hero's father was actually in the comic too, which he wasn't even up in. Actually, none of the parents appeared in the movie. Like, there was a lot of things different from the comic and the movie itself. I love being able to transform, but yeah, they need to work on it. Yeah, if you're allowed to, like, if they are going to make another transformation world where you're going to have to be something else, then I think that they should have, like, no limitations. Like, that's the only problem. Like, if they don't limit you without guarding or using, like, drive forms, which that made me so upset. Because that would have been interesting to see as Lion Sword had used limit form or using final form. That would have been interesting to see. But I can also see, like, yeah, it'd be really, really hard to program and animate at the same time. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm not trying to be quiet. I'm literally trying to think of, like, other things that I talk about, because probably give it, like, another couple minutes, and then I'll switch over to the Kingdom Hearts facts that I've actually made. I mean, I could see how it would be hard doing the drive forms and all. Yeah, it's basically what I meant. Like, I could see it being really, really hard to try and implement drive forms as a lion. But the fact is that it's just a limitation. Like, it's drive forms in Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of the main things that drove you to play it. Other than the fact of it being Kingdom Hearts, just in general, but that was one of the new mechanics that just pretty much tried to hook you into the game. So with it being a limitation that you couldn't use it, which was just kind of iffy. I guess that's the way I can describe it. I guess the way that I could, now that I'm thinking about this would actually be a better way to do my opinion videos. Instead of, like, making a separate video for each thing, I could just do, like, on here I could just talk about, like my hopes for Kingdom Hearts 3, or the top worlds that I want to see in Kingdom Hearts 3. Now that I'm really thinking about it, now I'm actually really liking the idea of doing this as a regular thing. And of course, the one thing that I will say is that, of course, this will be on my channel. It's not going to be like, it's just not just going to be like the stream and then it's just going to end and disappear forever. It's just going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm looking at the facts and the questions I have to make sure that I didn't screw up anything. Because I feel like I did. I don't know why. Very True Kingdom Hearts is my favorite in the series. One of the reasons because of Dry Forms. Yeah, because Dry Forms really was the thing that kind of made you hooked into it. It was the thing that... It was the mechanic that's supposed to lure fans into. Like, Kingdom Hearts, I don't think it had that kind of lure because it was the first in its series. Kingdom Hearts 2, it was the Dry Forms. I'm not sure what Birth by Sleep it was. It was probably the fact that there was 3 new characters that you could play as 3 different characters. Might be, I don't remember. I think with Days, I think it was with Rock, dealing with Roxas' story. I know for a fact for Recoded, it was definitely the 2D platforming and stuff. Yeah, you should definitely do more. Just because there's a lot to talk about dealing with Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, that is pretty true. And I could literally go on and on and on for like 5 hours. I'm not joking. Like, my friends hate it when I talk about Kingdom Hearts so freaking much. With this, I can just let it all out. Let the inner nerd of me be out. But anyway, I was getting sidetracked because I was looking at something else. I was looking at the questions. But I know for a fact Recoded, the reason that I wanted to play Recoded was because of the fact that I saw like 2D platforming and it looked like Mario. I was like, okay, I had to play this. I had to play this. Because that was like, it had on-rail shooter segments, it had 2D platforming. Like, that was probably the reason that I really wanted to play that game. And I think, no, I remember that I pre-ordered Recoded, and then and then going into it, I just instantly came out like, this story was very weak. Because it really is. Recoded was probably the weakest story game out of the whole saga. But I think with 2.5 they made it a little bit better, adding those scenes, making it relevant. Well, not relevant, but making it more... Oh, what's the word? Give it more meaning. I guess that's probably a better way to say it. Give it more meaning to the story. Because yeah, the only thing you really need to know about Recoded is basically the ending. Like, that's the only thing. Like, everything else is, you can pretty much just wash right over. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if people just watch the Recoded cutscenes. I would not be surprised. Yeah, Recoded is my favorite. I don't think it's anybody's favorite. I think that Recoded was like very underrated. Like let's actually do this. If you compare Days between Recoded, Days would win in story, but Recoded would win in gameplay. Like that's the thing. Like I see people arguing, trying to argue, um, Kingdom Hearts Days between Unchained Key, and you really can't do that. You really can't do that because they're two different medias. Like one's a mobile app, and one's a DS game. You really can't compare those two. But I saw this on the Keykeeper stream. I heard this from their mouths, and I instantly typed later. True, but you can put Days against Recoded, and I instantly know Days would win in the story, and Recoded would win in the gameplay because the gameplay in Days was garbage. It was complete garbage. Like it's funny. If there's one problem in one Kingdom Hearts game, the next game like fixes it, but has a different problem, which I guess I can deal with. Okay, I'm just noticing this. I literally just put up my OBS program. Um, this one thing. Why is there frame drops when there's nothing playing? I don't get OBS. Like I downloaded this a while ago, but I still don't get it from time to time. How am I dropping frames when there's nothing playing? What the what? That's true. Days didn't have very good gameplay. Yeah, yeah. People will say the gameplay was good for Days. Is just they're lying to themselves to make them feel better. And see, that's the thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. If you really look at it, and this is, I guess you could take this as a fact, they're pretty much pulling different elements from each Kingdom Hearts game and putting it into this game. Because really, if you look at it, they got the shot locks from Birth by Sleep. They had the combat, well, yeah, pretty much the combat and abilities from Kingdom Hearts 2, flow motion from Dream Drop Distance, and I don't. I'm trying to think. Like you could definitely see they're definitely pulling stuff from the other games because they've said in the past that each Kingdom Hearts game was leading up to the development for Kingdom Hearts 3. I guess both story wise and also preparing them to create it. Which I find it very genius because they've taken like 10 years to make sure that they know what they want, or at least close to know what they want. That's my opinion. I'm actually gonna switch the picture because we will be moving on to the facts in a few seconds. And so far, this has actually been going pretty good since it's being like 41 minutes. Now that I'm looking at the time. yeah, it's good to know that they're working hard and making sure it's what they want. And before we actually get into the next segment, I actually do want to say that Kingdom Hearts 3, it was shown too early. And even Tetsuya Nomura himself said so. That it was shown a little too early. And the reason that he showed it too early is because the eagerness of the fans. That was the reason that he pushed it out in 2013. That little teaser of him picking up Eric's Keyblade. That's the only reason he put that there. And then later in an interview, he said, "Well, we kind of showed it a little, like we showed this game a little too early, so." And that's why there's been a drought of Kingdom Hearts news from time to time. Like, I guarantee it. Well, probably nowadays they're probably working on it so much they probably don't want to say anything until like an event. Which I'm very excited to see what they're gonna have for E3 this year. If they show another Kingdom Hearts trailer, I'm gonna die. Like, I will die if they show off like San Francisco. That's one of the hopes that I have right now for E3 for Kingdom Hearts. Like, I still think we'll either get Kingdom Hearts 3 either in 2017 or 2018. The reason I say 2017, and it was never set in stone, I don't want to make it sound like it was set in stone, that there's been multiple Kingdom Hearts games over the past few years. That they've been trying to make a Kingdom Hearts game almost every year. It was never set in stone for it to be every year. But if you really think about it, we'll have 2 Kingdom Hearts games this year. We have already Unchained Key, and later this year we'll be getting 2.8. So that's 2 Kingdom Hearts games in the same year. Now, if Kingdom Hearts 3 was to be released in 2017, I would see it being dropped in the middle of 2017 or in the very late of 2017. And if it was in 2018, I would say like early or middle. I won't say like late, because that would be very close to pushing it towards 2019, which I do not want. That would be too long. That would be very too long. But if I really want to put my finger on a certain point in time, I would say late 2017. Like that would be very, very, like that would probably be the latest that I would see. Either late 2017 or early 2018. Like, if they start showing that more music and a whole lot more worlds, then yeah, I would suspect that it would come out like 2017. Like, that's the thing. If they show more music, if they don't play Rage Awakens or Rage Awakening, I forget the name. I really wish that I didn't forget the name. But seriously, if they show more music, I have hopes that it will come out next year. Speaking of music, I really want to hear that new Kingdom Hearts 3 opening. Because I know Yoko Shimomura is now... Not Yoko Shimomura, that's the composer. Hitada Hikaru, that's her name, is back and doing music again. I want to hear the next opening. I want to hear the next music. I want to hear it. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Simple and Clean and I love Sanctuary, but it's time for a new song for Kingdom Hearts, especially for Kingdom Hearts 3, where it's going to be the grand finale. We need that new song. yeah, I think that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. Like this, that topic part of chill time. Same event is going to be amazing. Yep. And like I said, like you're probably talking about like things I've already said like probably 5 minutes ago, but still, I'm still fully able to see them. Don't worry. After all, this is going to be like part one of this being a series. Okay, I have my facts pulled up. Make sure that I can read it. Because some of it stretches too far. Every song, which I hope we get, then maybe a Shuffle song. A mashup of both songs. And that's the thing. I've seen a lot of people make remixes of both Sanctuary and Simple Clean. If they mashed that up and did a remix, I would be fine with that too. But I think it's time that we got a different song, because even though, like I said, I love those two songs. Like, Simple Clean, when I first heard that song back in the day as a kid, like, it was music to, like, it was literally music in my ears. Like, it, even though that's probably a very bad way to say that. But, I guess a different way I could say it would be like it sounded like heaven in my ears. Like, I guess that's a better way to say it. I was checking to see, like, how far my stream, like, in my setup, I was seeing how far, like, I was delayed. And it's actually pretty close. I'm very surprised.
I was checking.
Oh, there it is.
Like,
there it is. You probably heard it. I know, right? I love the music, but yeah, it's time for something new. Yeah, especially being the end. It's just kind of, right. Like, kind of like with the whole situation with, and this will be the last thing I talk about. Then I have to get into the knowledge. Like I said, I can literally talk about this for hours and hours. And especially if this was like a group of people that's like in the stream, like it would be like probably going on for like 5 hours. But the same you could say with the new costume for Sora, because Nomura, he was very torn to do it. Like, he was very, very torn to give Sora a new outfit, because he knows that the fans really, really love the Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit, and I'm one of those people. I loved his outfit. I really did. And some people are actually mixed about his new outfit. For me, I think it looks really cool. I like the idea of what he had for it, because it is a mix between Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 2, which is supposed to be the idea, which I'm totally fine with. The hair, I could say I'm fine with the hair. At least now it looks a little bit more tamer. It doesn't look like that he's about literally to kill somebody with one of his spikes. Like, literally, like, he can literally just, like, poke someone and kill somebody with his spike. With the spike of his hair. It's deadly. Alright, that would be enough. That will be enough for that first segment, and now finally, I will get into the facts. And these aren't in any certain order, even though I had them listed. I'll just go, like, I'll jumble them up. And hopefully I'll have like 10 facts in each one, hopefully. Because I don't plan on doing these as videos. I don't, like, the way this is set up, I don't really think I could do these as just videos. And I am burping like crazy. Saying his Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit was awesome, but I do like his new one. He looks older. That's actually something that people... That's actually a misconception, because it's literally the same skeleton of Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora he looks older, but he's not older. It's literally taking place like after Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. So he's not older in any way. It's just he looks older because his hair is more tamer, and he looks a bit more... I guess he probably looks more slim. Probably, I don't know. It was probably the pants. Let's be honest, it was probably the pants. And also the fact, I gotta make this out. I gotta say this. He finally fits his shoes. He has no more Mickey feet, like no more big feet. He finally fits into his shoes. Thank God. Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, so now that I'm like trying to pick on which one I'm going to be talking about first. Because they're all pretty good ones. Like I don't know how much knowledge you do have of Kingdom Hearts. Like some of these are actually from doing like actual, like really digging into finding from either Ultimanias or actually trying to look in the sorts of Kingdom Hearts games. So I'm not sure if you'll know some of these or not. You might know some of these. I'm actually thinking about it. I'm trying to pick. I guess this one. I guess this one will make. I guess I could start with this one, and that is that we have not seen the true Kingdom Hearts yet. Like the actual Kingdom Hearts, we have not seen. We kind of saw it in Kingdom Hearts 1, which is the Door to Darkness. Like that is where Kingdom Hearts is located in the Realm of Darkness. Somewhere in there. We still have no idea where it could be. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I could probably have a theory about that, tying it with Aqua. Now that I'm really thinking about it, now that's probably something I'm gonna be talking about in the next one. I'm gonna keep it for later. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it. Because I've been bleh, I can't speak. Blah. Because I've been really wanting to get into theories. The first one I did on the channel was very bad. I will immediately say that. As far as story and stuff, I know quite a bit, but as far as the making Kingdom Hearts 3 and stuff, not so much. That's pretty understandable. I'm probably there too. But as far as the Kingdom Hearts in Birth by Sleep and in Kingdom Hearts 2, those aren't really Kingdom Hearts. That really wasn't Kingdom Hearts, which that leads into a misconception that to where people say we haven't really seen the true Kingdom Hearts yet, and then they just argue saying, well, what was that in Birth by Sleep? What was that in Kingdom Hearts 2? That wasn't Kingdom Hearts? No, not really, because they were made from different properties. Because the only way Kingdom Hearts can ever reveal itself is if the Keyblade has been forged, and in Birth by Sleep, it almost achieved that. When the Keyblade was forged, the Blue Heart Moon, which I guess you could say is kind of the Kingdom Hearts, quote unquote, that was made from the hearts of the worlds. Because with the Keyblade being reforged, it kind of brought a Kingdom Hearts out, kind of, but it wasn't truly it, because the Keyblade, or X-Blade, I'm gonna say X-Blade because it's a lot better sounding for me, because the X-Blade wasn't made in the right way, because the only way that the Keyblade can truly be forged, or X-Blade, I'm gonna mix those up now. The X-Blade can only be reforged if 7 Guardians of Light and 13 Darknesses clash, and that's the only way that the X-Blade can be reforged. And with that, it'll bring back Kingdom Hearts from the realm of darkness into the realm of light, from what I have to understand. So, in Birth by Sleep, at the very end, it's a somewhat Kingdom Hearts, I would say. From basically the worlds reacting from a incomplete X-Blade. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, that was made from the worlds, not from the worlds, made from the hearts of men, because with the organization collecting hearts to create Kingdom Hearts, it wasn't the real thing. Because essentially, that's not the way that Kingdom Hearts can be created. So it's its own made-up thing. Yeah, which might happen in Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. And the thing is that Xehanort can do this. Like, he can create the X-Blade from 2 different variables. He can either go after the Princess of Heart, which is 7 hearts. Not 7 hearts, 7 lights. And just literally fight and use his 13 darknesses, and he can create the Keyblade like that. Or he can attack the 7 Guardians of Light. So really, and even Mickey says that, where Mickey himself, even in, I believe, a recoded Secret Ending, I believe that was the one, where he basically says that there's no possible way to stop the trigger of the Keyblade War, because Xehanort could have 2 variables to do that. Which actually makes me scared. I'm actually very scared for that. Because if he goes for the 7 princesses, he's going to go after Kairi. That's for a fact. Since she is a Princess of Heart. And I guess this would lead into the next one, or next fact that I have, is that, where is it? Come on, I know it's somewhere, because I have it written somewhere. Oh, you know what? I probably deleted it. I probably got rid of it because it was a misconception. That there was no confirming that who the 7 Guardians of Light were. Like, we already know Sora is going to be one, Riku, and most likely Kairi after she finishes her training. But after that, you really don't know, other than Mickey, I guess you could say, because he's going to be considered a Guardian of Light. But we really don't know anybody else. So with Sora, Riku, Kairi, and Mickey, that's 4 right there. Ven coming back would make 5. Aqua coming back would make 6. Yeah, but I think he will try for the princesses, but of course they end up fighting. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. That he will most likely try to go for the princesses, but ultimately they're just gonna have to fight him. So with 6 being involved, 6 Guardians of Light, so there would only be like one more spot open, and then it would just be pretty much everyone else helping out. But really, we had no set idea of who's going to be the 7 Guardians of Light, other than like the main obvious people. I don't think Terra's going to be a Light, because after the complete and utter mess that's gone on with him. I don't really think that Axel will be considered a Guardian of Light since he still uses darkness. And the reason that I say that he still uses darkness is because he still uses like dark portals and stuff. He travels through the darkness. True, he may have a Keyblade, but he's still in the same stance as Kairi. And I think Aqua may go dark because she has been in the darkness for so long. Well, that would be an interesting take, but I don't think that's gonna work. Like, her going dark for being in the darkness so long, like, the darkness doesn't really affect someone. Like it's an interesting thing to think about that Aqua could go dark, but I don't think it could happen because she seems like the character that wouldn't. Like Riku, on the other hand, if his character development went in the complete and opposite direction, yeah, he would be a darkness instead of a light. And Sora was even considered to be a darkness because he couldn't control his own darkness in his heart, and that was proven in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. That's why he failed. And that's why Riku won, because he was able to conquer his dark side. And become resistant against it. But the one thing I want to know about Aqua is, where has she been for the 10 plus years that we've been waiting? That's my main question. What the heck is Mickey keeping from us? Like, after I saw the line where, like, Mickey was in the realm of darkness and he's, like, probably met Aqua there, I was like, Mickey, what have you been hiding, son? That's true, I didn't think about that. Yeah, because it's, like, being in the Dark Realm doesn't really do anything. Like, because that's like saying Xehanort was corrupted by the darkness because he dabbled too much in it. And that's why his eyes are yellow, which is a misconception, where his eyes and ears are his own trait. It wasn't for, like, dabbling in the darkness too much. Because that seems more like Star Wars-esque, where if someone becomes a Sith, their eyes change color and they start slowly becoming more and more darker looking. That's how I see it. If Aqua was to do that, I don't really see her as a character doing that. Yeah, I think he is hiding something. God, now that I really think about it, I really want to think about this theory. Jeez. Because the only people that were in the realm of darkness for so long was King Mickey and Aqua. It was the only two that have been in the realm of darkness for so long. Because King Mickey, in the beginning of the Kingdom Hearts games, he was searching for the Kingdom Key D to close the door to darkness, and Aqua was trapped there, so they had to be running into each other at some point in that time period. She was in there for a long, long period of time, even though the flow of time is very different there. Which is something I'm about to get into. I I guess I'll say it like real quick. Sorry that I have to go. Sorry that I have to go. Yeah, I'll be doing more. I'm glad that you had a good time. But I guess I'll say this for the YouTube side now, or for anybody else that will join the stream, that maybe Aqua most likely found Kingdom Hearts. And Mickey was able to help her get to it. That's probably what I'm thinking. But yeah, like I said, that even though you do have to go, Nicole, like you can always rewatch this when it is uploaded to YouTube, which is going to be soon. I highly doubt that it will be long. And even though that this is like episode 1, I will save the questions for later, because there isn't enough people to do that. But I will still continue on to do the facts, because then I will have more to do. And I've been doing over an hour, good lord. But the next one that I will be talking about, the next fact that I wanted to get into, is that there are 4 realms in Kingdom Hearts so far. That there is the realm of light, the realm of darkness, the realm of sleep, and the realm in between, which I guess you could say could be considered the realm of Twilight. And the interesting thing is that the time flow is very different between each of these realms, because the realm of darkness, the realm of sleep, and the realm in between all have different time flows. In the realm of darkness, I believe time accelerates, which we've seen in Birth by Sleep. Well, in the Final Mix version where you play the secret episode. With her being in there for 10 plus years, I can honestly see why that would be a thing. In the realm of sleep, I think time goes back. I believe that's how it works. That in the realm of sleep, that it's essentially the time travel realm, where basically you can be sent back in time. Because that's essentially how Sora and Riku look so young in Dream Drop Distance. Because essentially they are sleeping and they went back in time. I believe that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still learning about that. In the realm in between, I guess you could say it's... I guess the time flow is stagnated. That's the best way I could say it. Because Ven and Aqua are not going to age. Because the time flow of both the realm in between and the realm of darkness are two different things. And that's the thing I don't think people understand, is that if the like if they were in the realm of light, if they were still in the realm of light, then yeah, they will age. But with them being in the dark realm and in the in-between realm, I think that they won't age at all. So when they go wake up Ven, he'll still be the same age, and when they find Aqua, she'll be the same age. The next fact's actually it's actually pretty common. I'm not sure if many people nowadays still know this. That Sora's original design was a lion hybrid, like a lion and human hybrid, which looked very, very odd. Like, I'm not gonna say, actually no, not odd. It was just different. Because I'm so used to seeing Sora as Sora, and the fact that he originally was supposed to be wielding a chainsaw-looking sword, which we can, I guess, honestly, I think that Disney just went up to them saying, "No, this isn't Disney-like. I don't think that we should be doing this." So I think that's why they went with the Keyblade instead, which is still a better design. I still like the Keyblade, but having Sora wield a chainsaw around would still be also pretty fun. Not gonna lie. This one's actually pretty common too. An untextured Woody and Buzz summon in Kingdom Hearts 2. I believe it was in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix in the coding that you could find textureless models of Woody and Buzz for summon. And I guess I can also squeeze this one in together with the summon, is that there was concept art for Toy Story World for Kingdom Hearts 1. So they've been trying to get Kingdom Hearts with Toy Story probably from the beginning, but the problem being is that the only reason that they didn't is because of the fact that the licensing was so bad back during I believe the early 2000s. I think that the Pixar and Disney were going head to head, and it was just too much. So I think that I think that they really wanted to put Toy Story, but then after seeing that whole argument between the two, I think they just decided not to do it because the legal issues was just too far. Oh, I should have done this one first. I cannot believe I didn't do it because I think Nicole would have liked this one. Which I guess since she'll be probably rewatching it, she'll still see it. That Shion's name is actually based from a flower. And I actually had to do some extensive research for that. Because I heard it from a stream. And I actually looked up the definition for the flower. And let's see here. Gotta make this note a little bit bigger so I can read it. Just full screen it. So, let's see here. So, Shion, the Japanese name for Astroctotarus, a type of flower, according to the Japanese florography, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, good lord, means I won't forget you or remembrance. Or as people I've seen say a couple times, forget-me-nots, or forget-me-not. Which I found, it was very interesting that Xiong's name came from a flower. Because this is an actual existing flower that you could find. Not sure if it's a rare flower, but... And I think I went and did a little bit more research to try and see if Nominate came from a flower, which I don't think it did. It could be, I don't know. I didn't look hard enough. I did like a few looks here and there, but I didn't find anything. So let me actually make sure that I know which ones I've done. that one's done. That one's done. I have to like type in to make sure that that I don't repeat the questions. Make sure. Realm of Sleep, Realm of Darkness. Yeah, I did that. I guess the next one I could do is there are two types of Heartless, and that is pureblood Heartless and artificial Heartless. And I don't think many people have seen that, but that there are less pureblood Heartless than there are artificial. And artificial is the ones we mainly fight. Like, the purebloods would be the Dark Balls, the Shadows, the Dark Sides, the Neo Shadows, and I think that's it. Maybe the Invisibles? I don't remember. I don't know if those are considered purebloods. Basically, the purebloods come from the dark realm, from the realm of darkness, and the artificials were made from Ansem the Wise, from his research of doing the hearts. Actually, no. I was making a comment about this, but I'm gonna save it for the next one. So. But yeah, other than I can't speak. Other than the ones I just named out that were purebloods, everything else it would be pretty much an artificial Heartless. And this one, I remember that I stumbled across this not too long ago. I guess when it was first shown, that Chirithy in Kingdom Hearts Key and Unchained Key is a Dream Eater. Now, I'm not sure how that's gonna work, because now that leads into theories of how Chirithy can be existent with Heartless around. Because the thing is that the Heartless and the Dream Eaters come from two different realms. And they really have not been shown to be coexistent in the same one. So that really leads into theory territory. To where I'm thinking that either Key or Unchained Key, well, I guess technically both, since they're pretty much the same game, that they either are taking place in the Sleeping Realm, or doing the same thing that Ricotta did, where it could be the Date Escape, where everyone's like digitized, or it could be the power of the Book of Prophecies in effect, where it could be the Sleeping Realm, but with the Book of Prophecies that is in the game, could be conjuring up the Heartless. I don't know. Like, that's, to be honest, that is leading into theory territory, which I'm not going to try and figure out, at least not right now. So far we got like 3 more questions, and then I'm going to end off because I can't do the questions. At least right now, I can't do them, so I'll save them for the next one, hopefully. This one I found out pretty. Actually, no, I got 2 more questions, so yeah. In Birth by Sleep, there was actually a textureless model for Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch, which I didn't know. I didn't know that they were actually going to think about putting Pleakley in Deep Space for Birth by Sleep. But at the same time, it would make sense, because Jumbo was there, and Gantu, and the Grand Councilwoman, so I could see Pleakley coming in there, but I don't know why they didn't do it. Probably because either that they didn't get the voice actor, or that they didn't know how to put him in there. That's probably my best bet. But they didn't know how to put him in there, so they just scrapped it and kept the motto in there. And make sure that I got this one out the way. And the last question that I will have for this episode is that for this fact, is there have only been 2 confirmed deaths in the Kingdom Hearts universe, which is Xion and Master Ericus, with Master Ericus being Sloan, that's not even a word, has been slain by Master Xehanort, and Xion being put down by Roxas, but of course Xion pretty much was asking Roxas to put her down so she could help Sora retrieve the memories from her, so he was able to wake up. But the thing is that with Xion's death, it's a little bit more messed up because no one will remember her unless that she comes back, which is a very interesting theory that I'll probably talk about later. I don't think that Xion and Master Ericus are truly dead, but for now, the way that it seems like that they're pretty much dead, as for right now, but they have the possibility of coming back, because they've been hinting that Xion could return, which I'm very fine for, because I thought that I felt like her character development still could use some more work. And with her bringing her back, she could resolve the conflicts that she's been having. But yeah, that is all the Kingdom Hearts facts that I have listed here. Hopefully in the next hopefully next Saturday. I'm hoping to do these things every Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't do this next Saturday today's the 16th, so the next Saturday will be the 23rd. I can't do the 23rd because I'm going to be away, believe either Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I will be going to Tennessee, because my brother is getting married, and of course I have to go, because of course he's family, and also the fact that I am a groom, so I have to go. So, on the 23rd, there won't be episode 2. Probably I'll try to work on having April 30th as episode 2. That's what I'm aiming for. If I can't do it for the 30th, I'll try and do it whenever I can, whenever I have free time. But hopefully that I will be able to move on next time with the chat questions for next time. And still, I don't know why I'm dropping frames. I still don't get it. But for all people who are watching this on YouTube, I do hope that you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about Kingdom Hearts, listening to some facts, and I hope that you learned something, because there's been a lot of people who have been misled, have been misconceived, and all that other stuff. So I hope you did learn something from those tidbits right there. Hopefully I'll have 10 more for episode 2, and I'll be able to do questions. But that's pretty much going to be it for the stream. Hopefully it'll be uploaded to YouTube pretty quickly, but this is an hour, so I've never done an hour video, so we'll see how that plans out. But I hope you did enjoy it. Until the next one, I am Master Finch 200, signing out till next time. See you, everybody. Have an awesome day.